Cam Newton, to me, has got something left in the tank. Now, what that something is, I don't know. And on Friday, i.e. today, Cam Newton signed a one-year deal with the New England Patriots worth all the way up to $13.6 million. And we're going to get into all the incentives and everything and how we can earn it, but make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the love and support that we get. Now back to Cam Newton. Last year, Cam Newton was a man that came in, and I immediately predicted he was going to come out and play well for the Patriots. And now it wasn't necessarily it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't all his fault. I think the Patriots as an organization really as a whole took a step back last year. When you talk about their defense, that's usually a top 10 defense. It was more of a middle of the pack defense. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be or had the assumption and assumed right that it was probably going to be a rebuilding year for the Patriots, and in many ways it was. Cam Newton last year, now 31 years old, completed around 66% of his passes for 8 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and for over 2,600 yards. Did also have 12 rushing touchdowns, but I mean, it's Cam Newton. Of course, he's going to have a lot of rushing touchdowns because he's still got it in that regard. So, but if you ask me, the Cam Newton contract that has a base value is worth $3.5 million, which is in guarantees. Now, there's a couple different ways he can get up to his incentives, and I'm going to go through those here right now. Now, he earns about $88,000 for every game that he's active, and with the NFL season going to 17 games instead of 16, there's a way that he can make all that money. But as far as incentives goes, if he plays for 60% of the snaps, he gets $500,000. If he plays 90% of the snaps and the Patriots don't make the playoffs, he gets $1 million for that. But all the way through 60, 70, 80, 90, and the Patriots make the playoffs, he makes a $500,000 on top of that, up all the way up until 90. So, and there's a lot of different things. He also earns $500,000 if he makes the Pro Bowl, if he's a first or second team All-Pro selection. So there's a lot of different things that go into this contract. And to me, it still speaks to how great Bill Belichick can be at making a contract. Cam Newton, in my mind, he is one of those players that you just kind of see what you get. I mean, we talk about a guy who was a former MVP back in 2015, if my memory serves me right. And he was kind of amazing that year. I mean, he was Superman in every single way. So I think a lot of people kind of forget that this man, what he's capable of, and it's an absolute crime if you ask me. But his deal, what does it mean for the Patriots and him moving forward? I think the Patriots are going to go after quarterback in the draft. I think they're absolutely going to go after a quarterback, but I think they needed and wanted a top bridge quarterback, i.e. Cam Newton, to be able to hold down the fort. And I think he's going to do it very admirably. In fact, I think he could possibly be a top 15, maybe even a top 10 quarterback. I think that it is dependent on a couple things, but I still think he's got that talent level to move forward and be the kind of player that the Patriots need him to be. So we're talking about a guy that has over nearly 32,000 career passing yards, 190 touchdowns and 118 interceptions. And once again, took the Panthers to a Super Bowl in 2015. And I think he's still, like I said, he's still got a lot left in the tank. But let's call it what it is. He needs some weapons. Last year, he had a guy by the name of Jacoby Myers that led the team in receiving. Had a total of 59 catches for 729 yards, no touchdowns. You had James White, who's the second leading receiver on the team, for the 49 catches, 375 yards, and a touchdown. And then finally you had Demir Byard for 47 catches, 604 yards. There's no real, other than when Julian Edelman, Edelman doesn't matter. When he's healthy, there's no true blue number one wide receiver. If Edelman is healthy, I think he could definitely make Cam Newton's stats skyrocket, and I think he could be something special. To me, the Patriots, they got to go back after a guard. I mean, Joe Thuney's lived to let him walk in free agency, but the point is, if they can get him some weapons, get him a relatively solid offensive line, and be able to get him a couple of guys that can go out and make a play, I think this team could be something special. I mean, we're still talking about Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches, bar none the greatest coach of all time. The general manager aspect, I think he's certainly he's very good at it. I wouldn't say he's one of the best of all time, but I definitely think that he could be in the conversation. But at the end of the day, Cam Newton, I think, again, what the contract means is, he's going to play through the year, get his incentives, and he's going to do his thing. And I'm really excited for Cam Newton. I'm really happy he got a contract, again, because he deserves it. I think he's a very hardworking guy, but he's also a very talented guy. I mean, this guy was, everybody said he's made in the lab, just from top to bottom, 6'5", 250, runs like a deer. He's got it all, even in smarts and everything. He's just a great player. So I'm glad to see that he got his contract, and hopefully, I really hope he takes off this next year, and hopefully, Julian Edelman is ready to go too, and I hope the Patriots get him a weapon. But let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. What does the contract mean for the Patriots? The Cam Newton contract, that is, and what will he do moving forward with it? And what will the Patriots do in the draft? Be interesting to see.